I'm at a truck stop in the town called Marion, Illinois, on I-57. I believe it's exit 54. Very dirty and super small truck stop. Very busy. Even now it's middle of the day. I got diesel here. I got my DEF. Price today is $279, which is cheaper than I started in Effingham, Illinois. I did lots of miles yesterday because I want to deliver this Monday in New Mexico, and I still have a long way to go. So I did like 585 miles yesterday, and started in London, Ontario, and ended in Effingham, Illinois. That's pretty far, especially since this is oversized load. So based on my permit, I had to go instead of I-69 and then 94 towards Chicago. They sent me on 94 towards Detroit, and then 696, 275, US 14 West, 294. It was longer this way. And then there was a couple of small detours in Indiana, Illinois, and I ended up on 57 South, and that's what my permit says. Stay on I-57 South all the way to Missouri. And from here it's 54 miles to the Missouri border, and the problem is over here where this river is, right? That's the border with Missouri. And then you switch to 55, but I cannot pass that because, believe it or not, it's been what, 2 days since dispatch ordered permits. I still don't have my permits after Illinois, so I only had Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois, and so I did that. I'm pretty much out of Illinois in the second day, right? And the machine is still there. So I called and emailed dispatch just to make sure that I did not miss any emails. Nope, they said nothing. So I'm not sure I will be able to deliver Monday now, because I wanted this load to be on my next pay. And actually today is the cutoff day. So anything that I deliver next week will only be on my next pay. Because a lot of Canadian companies, they don't pay weekly like in US. We are mostly paid every 2 weeks. So we have to wait 2 weeks to see the money from the load we did most of the time. So I picked up a new lens for my camera. Hope that I'll be able to do some photography down there. Like, I like those views down there, like New Mexico, and all these open spaces really attract me as a photographer. And I just tested this new lens. It's wide angle 10 to 24 millimeter. I just did some video tests and some photography over here. It'll be, I'll do a quick review on my photography channel. That's Watkins Shepherd again. Remember, I was talking about these guys because all their trucks have gross weight in kilograms. I think it's because the owner has the owner of the company, either Watkins or Shepherd, has roots somewhere in Europe or England. Now, a few announcements. In the coming couple of months, probably closer to the end of the year, November, end of October, you will see me change companies. I'll be working for a different company, so the name on the door will change. For now the truck stays the same. The plans to get new truck are still in the works, still active. The thing is, I gotta see how much money I make with this new company, and then I will know if I can support a new truck, because the new truck with that big engine, big axles, you know, double frame, it's bigger and heavier, but most importantly for my purposes it's also more expensive. And so I gotta see how my cash flow performs with the new company, and if the audit of the cash flow is positive, then I plan to get a 2018 model 2018, and I'm still leaning towards Kenworth T800. You know, not the perfect model, because now we have 880, right? But it's proven, it works, parts are everywhere. I like my Kenworth dealer in my area, and just I got to fine-tune. I already have the spec on my computer, right? We took care of all that during the previous winter and spring when we were fine-tuning all the details with this salesperson. And so I just want to make sure that I got my I forgot to check that, like MP3. I want to make sure the truck can play MP3 discs, which seems now the new standard for audiobooks. Not just it looks like a CD, but it's actually MP3, so one CD holds the entire audiobook. You don't have to shuffle through CDs, you know. Just you put one in and then you click pause. Very, very convenient. And then I think I was, well, just kind of like minor changes like that, but like for example, just to give you an idea, I see other guys have removable fenders on the truck. You know, those they can just click a pin and take the thing, you know, off. You know, when sometimes you have a load where you have to move your fifth wheel all the way to the front, because on this new truck I want to get a very long slider for the fifth wheel, and the truck will have a longer wheelbase, so I need to be able to move the fifth wheel closer to the front. And sometimes when you're real close, everything is fine with the frame, but the hangers, you know, the mud flap brackets, they can be in the way. And I see some guys specifically order these. They don't look very well. It's just, you know, like a bent bar with a mud flap, but they're very easy to detach, you know, and replace. Not like these fancy, like that looks like a pipe, right? That's what I have here. So those simple brackets are just more practical. I don't know. And also we didn't decide anything about fenders. Like, you know, on my truck, right, I have these fancy minimizer fenders, and they look good, but I still see lots of spray in the back there. When I'm driving in the rain, I still see pretty much the same amount of water just shoots on the trailer and on all the connectors on the gooseneck. But things improved when I got rid of the actual mud flap, and they bolted the mud flap to the bottom of these minimizer fenders, you know. But one drawback is that they didn't break, so I had them now for 2.5 years, right? They're very strong and they're flexible. Even if you hit them, they go back. But one problem I had, if you remember, one rookie driver hit me in the wheel with the back of his trailer, and I had to replace the tire, and we didn't have the tools for that big bolt in there. and it was really difficult to change the tire with these fenders because they sit very close. So I think for the next truck I would just go with something not as fancy, but again more practical, like the same Minimizer. They offer you know, a single fender that covers all 3 axles, you know. Yeah, they look kind of like, I see them on garbage trucks that have pusher axles, and but you know, then you can quickly change the tire. You know, you don't have to spend like we did. It took us maybe an hour to take one tire off and then put the other back on, because there's nothing we could do about the height between, like the gap between the fender and the wheel, right? No matter how high or how low you raise the truck, that spacing becomes the same, and it's difficult, you know. Basically you have to take it off. You have to take off these fenders to replace a tire, you know. So not very good. And also I think on this new truck, one change I really look forward to is the axle ratio. Like I have 410 now, right? Because I changed from 391 to 410, and I really like it on this truck because the engine is too small, right? 13 liters, but 1860 torque. It pulls great with 410, but the speed I pretty much stay at or below 60 miles per hour, right, as you guys know. So the new truck, because it has I want to get a big engine with 605 horsepower, I think I would go back to either 391 or 373, you know. So this way I can drive, you know, 60-65 miles per hour and save some fuel and get to my destination faster. And especially when you're empty, it just adds some fun to the equation, you know, when you can drive, you know, 65-70 if you're empty, right? Why not? But loaded, yeah, 60-65 or even lower than that, that's good. That's good for the equipment, you know, because you go over potholes at 80 miles an hour, you're gonna break something. So those are the changes that might happen in the next couple of months. And also I plan to change the name of the channel, but once again it's still in the works. For now we're still Heavy Haul TV, and I still work for the same company, and I still drive the same truck. But just to give you guys something to look forward to, so nothing stays the same forever. Things change as long as you are living, right? A living human being. Dead people don't change their opinions. Okay, spent a couple of hours at the pilot over here. Finally got some permits. So I had Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, right? So now I got Missouri, Texas, and New Mexico. Now I'm pretty sure there's another state somewhere in there that I gotta have a permit for, but you know, geography is not my strong suit. So for now we're just going 2 hours away, 219 kilometers or roughly 130 miles to a Deerfield Travel Plaza. So I'm in Illinois now, so I'm gonna go 54 miles south on 57, cross into Missouri, and then the Deerfield, it's I think it's exit 4, so it's just right next to the border with the next state that I don't have the permit yet for. So the final destination will be right north of the next state that I don't have the permit for yet. So there it is, Deerfield Travel Plaza. 122 miles it says, but it's probably longer than that. But yeah, right now I'm on 57. What? Effingham, that's where I started. Mount Vernon. Yeah, we're here, Marion. There's a couple of scales. Then that's the river, that's the border, and then I'm gonna go over here. No, to the very south. Yeah, AB. That's the border, that's the truck stop. So that's the plan. Bye-bye, Marion, Illinois. To hurry right now, right? Because I can only go into Missouri. So and today's Friday, so I will have to double check with dispatch before they go home. Because if they don't get me the permit for Arkansas for the next state, that's it. I'll be stuck at that Deerfield Plaza till Monday. Because of course all the permit offices are closed on the weekend, right? I just got my Arkansas permit, so we all good. So I can continue trucking on the weekend. And this is just the border with Missouri. So I'm leaving Illinois, trying to get into Missouri. So that should be the Mississippi River. sign said maximum width 10 feet 4 inches. But the superhuman skills of Captain Sergei strike once again. Well, this is my permit, you know, I'm just following my route. So it would be funny if it was less than 10 feet. Missouri state line. Now here in Missouri, the routing is a bit weird. I spent like half an hour on the smartphone trying to decipher. So basically, okay, this is Missouri, right? So Missouri DOT wants me to go I-57, which is this one, right? And then US 60 west, US 61 south, Missouri 80 east, I-55 south. And of course, I know US 60. It's actually continues, you know, where 57 ends at 55. The highway that continues after the 55 is US 60. And I looked over there, but I cannot find US 61 south. I see US 62, but no 61. So I figured they want me to go west past 55 and then go south. And I did manage to find Missouri 80. It goes back to 55. Just US 61 is missing in action. And then the funny thing is that when I scale I-55, like, you know, make it bigger or smaller on the phone, I see the other number, which is 61. So it looks like I-55 is the same as US 61. I just went inside. They let me through. I just went through the scale and then I parked one inside. And I said, guys, could you please help me out? I cannot find this highway where they want me to go. And they said, what highway? I said, well, I know the routing now, right? I-57, 60. And then I said, I can find 60, I can find 57, I cannot find I-61. And the guy says, it's there. He says, right after you go under the bridge with 55, he says, you will see Walmart and he says that's 61. And I said, I thought it was 62. He says, no, 61. But basically he says, yeah, 61 is somewhere there, and I guess that's how they want me to go. Well, I made it to I-55 after that small detour. So now we're just 27 kilometers, what is this, 15 miles away from my truck stop where I want to stop for the night. Otherwise, you know, I'll be there at 20 minutes to 6, 5:40 local time. Otherwise it can be difficult to find parking over here. There's too much traffic.